I was trying to figure out a way to remember it. Preparing to live stream. Oh, it's my dad. Oh, call him back. My dad's calling. I'm calling back. Done redirecting.
You want to get him in on this Zoom?
No. Oh, it's my dad. No. Mm. Are we good?
Um, I don't see it yet, but it'll show up.
Did I just X out of it? I'm like, it's not actually live. Which it? Yeah. Is it not live?
Yeah, it's going.
Okay. All right. So now, more. Where's my record button? Oh, I have to make this bigger for a second. Okay. I'm so confused all of a sudden. Oh, I don't hit record on here.
Yeah, you need to hit record on
Yeah. I've been recording videos for my internship, and I was like, I need to record this. All right, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Hey, y'all. This is Rachel, and also Eddie. Eddie, how are you? Oh, and this is my so-called mess. I guess I should say what we are.
I'm good. Good to see you. I'm on my computer today. I'm chewing gum. Maybe I shouldn't chew gum.
I think it's okay.
Oh, really?
What's your favorite kind of gum?
Extra blue.
Mm. What flavor is that?
I think peppermint.
My
We
dad just
also we also do green.
my dad is calling me a second time. Hang on, let me text him.
You
Sorry.
can you can answer it.
But then he'll be on here.
Oh, I mean, if it's important. Do you think he only calls you twice if it's important?
Yeah.
Why don't you pause and then
So we'll stay on live.
just put mute on this and like unplug your phone.
Okay. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm gonna mess around with my settings here. Let's see. I have a green screen, so I can make my background disappear, right? Blur my background. Nice. Look at that.
There was no emergency.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's do this again. We
Should
are
I be
back.
in San Francisco
Yeah, I think you should be in San Francisco, right on the bridge.
or like
Yep.
above the planet here?
Ooh, I
Understand
like
both
above the
want to
planet
stay
too.
informed about any potential
Oh, something is,
emergencies.
sorry, my phone was off.
Northern Lights.
So, sorry for y'all. We paused for a moment. Some of you on live just were listening to nothing. My dad called me twice and thought it was an emergency, but it wasn't. He had a question for me. Um, so I was a little, I like that. That's how you, that is,
Okay. I'll be the
it's really confusing.
do people do this in Zoom? This
I
is
don't
wild.
know. For those of you who are not on live, it is fucking with the Zoom settings. You're missing this if you're not watching on YouTube or live.
YouTube.com/@Athens Public.
And you can see this. And right now he is what animal are you? Are you a fox?
Yeah, I think so. I put 3D eyewear on.
He's a
Um,
with the Northern Lights.
maybe I take Fox off and then I can, oh yeah.
Now you have a
This will be for when you graduate, right?
okay, yes, if I graduate, wearing 3D glasses.
This is stupid. Why, like, I mean, it's cute, but
So
isn't
could
Zoom
you
like a professional? It's like a professional,
yeah,
uh, a professional video conferencing thing. Oh yeah, let's get some facial hair.
I'm gonna do that for I'm giving a presentation tonight and I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna be a fox for my presentation. I'm doing my presentation on pleasure again for the Women's Empowerment Group, and I hope it's a lot of new people because I'm doing the same thing I did last time.
Really?
Hmm.
I mean, there's something to be said about that. I think like the more you give a presentation, the more refined it gets.
True if you
I I
practice.
I think about it with like stand-up comedians. Like they refine their jokes, and then they record a special, and then they
Hmm.
never tell those jokes again.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. But I like it, like if I had been practicing this speech or this presentation, maybe it will get refined.
mhm.
But I didn't have time to do anything. So I just looked over the slides real quick and I'm like, all right, I got an idea. Um, I mean, I've done it a few times, so it's not even true. So I kind of know what I'm doing, but it's sort of the middle of the semester, maybe. I don't know, my eyes twitching. I'm so tired. And I am at about 130 hours of direct hours with clients, over 200 hours of indirect. Plus, I do coaching, I teach a couple of yoga classes, I work part-time, and I have assignments. So I think I've hit that like I am fucking tired wall. And
Yeah.
yesterday I was gonna do a whole bunch of work to catch up on. And I got in bed at 4 o'clock.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. I
Did you
have a
skip
lot
did you skip dinner?
of question. Did I have dinner last night? Well, here's the thing with dinner. I didn't really have dinner. So I have some eating stuff. I have food issues.
Oh yeah,
And
we talked about that
yes.
before.
And I tend to eat the same thing over and over again until like I look at it and I hate it and then I throw it away and then I have to go to the grocery store and kind of feel out what is not repulsive to me.
Right.
So I found a new food. I've
What
been
food are you on?
I've been eating kimbap.
Kimbap?
Kimbap, 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 Kimbap.
Is it like kimchi?
No, but I've been eating kimchi and rice also, but I bought more kimchi, but now I think I'm like over kimchi. So thank God I buy the kimchi packets because they'll last. No, kimbap is like sort of like a Korean sushi when you look at it, but it's warm.
Mm-hmm.
Eat it. And they sell it at Costco in these big sleeves. And they also had it at HEB in like smaller sleeves. So I've been
Yeah,
eating
I
that.
feel like kimchi is one of those foods that you were mentioning where it's like that's one that's easy to burn out on. Like
Yes.
you eat it, you love it, you love it, you love it, and then you're stuck like then you buy a big tub of it and you're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna finish
Yeah.
this." And then it
So
just sits in your fridge for years.
yeah, no, that'll be thrown away. And I don't buy tubs of it because I don't like the way it smells in the fridge. So I buy individual packets.
Hmm.
So, I only use it when I open it up. Um, Frozen. There I go. Okay, I think I glitched out for a second. But kimbap is like, it's so good. You just heat it in the microwave for like 3 minutes. It's hot. They have like a tofu and veggie one, a shrimp one, a beef one. They're delicious. Then they have other veggies and seaweed and rice. So I've been eating kimbap. I went to HEB because I found it there on Sunday. Oh, and I've been eating a lot of pomegranate seeds. Totally not related to kimchi, but pomegranate seeds is my other like go-to right now. So I go to HEB yesterday And no, Sunday. And I go to the kimbap section and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking some more. And it was fucking out of stock.
Oh no. Your
And
main source of food.
yes, so my reaction is not like a normal reaction, I don't think. I get teary-eyed. I have sat on the floor of a grocery store and had a panic attack because I don't know what to do or cried. Not really panic attack, cried at the grocery store. When I couldn't find the kimchi the week before, I started crying. I mean, not like full on crying, like teary, like, oh my God, what the fuck am I gonna do? So yeah, I didn't know what to do. And I was like, okay, I can buy frozen shrimp, but I don't really know what to do with frozen shrimp. And then it grosses me out having it in my freezer for some reason.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I'll go back to sliced turkey, to the HEB brand turkey. I'll go to the deli. I'll
I
get
mean,
piece.
aside from sliced turkey, you pick like the grossest foods to store in refrigerators and like this is the thing that I can eat. Like frozen shrimp is nasty.
I
I
know.
don't know.
That's well, that was kind of my thought, but I'm like, but I love shrimp. So,
Yeah.
but I also don't want like to have to cook shrimp because I don't want it to smell like shrimp in my apartment. So,
Yeah.
I go to the turkey counter, like, okay, I can do this for a few days until they get kimbap back in stock, or I can find someone to go to Costco for me.
Hmm.
And I go to the fucking turkey counter and nobody acknowledges me.
Wow.
And I'm small. I like, I mean, I can barely, I'm shorter than the counter,
It
but
sounds like a bad dream.
I know. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait 10 more, I'm gonna wait 10 more seconds. I'm like, no, 30 more seconds. Still no one looked in my direction. And it's loud, they're not gonna hear me. So I was like, fuck this. Turkey is obviously not what I'm supposed to be eating. So my friend happened to call me who knows about my food issues and she's trying to give me help, but it's really not helping. The only thing that sounded good was cereal. So I've been eating a lot of um, Special K
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good
and
one.
some dried apples.
Okay.
I had a little bit of rice yesterday. I don't, I need, and I brought some extra protein drinks.
Do you like oatmeal?
I have a love-hate with oatmeal. I either love it or it grosses me out. And then when I love it, I often overeat it because I don't like a lot of water in my oatmeal. I like very dry oatmeal.
I've noticed that those like I eat oatmeal in the morning and sometimes when I don't have time to like cook the oatmeal in a pot, I just do the little packet where you pour it in a bowl with water.
Yeah, do that. That's how I do it. I
And it's
also,
amazing. It's like pretty good. It's pretty quick, very low on smell, in and out. Like you
uh,
don't see like I don't know, easy to
here,
clean that bowl.
here's the problem, not the problem. Here's my thing about having those oatmeal packets in the house. That's also one of my like go-to snack foods that I can't stop. And it's not with water. I open the packet and I just pour it down my mouth.
Yeah, I could see that being a danger if it's like one of your go-to snacks because oatmeal is pretty, isn't it pretty, it's like a lot of calories for a little bit of stuff or something. Like you could really mess
Yeah,
up your diet.
think so. And I get like the protein one because I think it's good, but it still has like sugar and you have to get a good flavor. And
Yeah, I usually get there's one like with raisins and nuts or something. I don't
mm,
know. That's usually just the one that's available. Or they have like the multi-pack where it's like a bunch of different flavors. Some of
yeah,
them
that
suck.
some of them do suck, but that was like when growing up, that was like the one time we had sort of sugar in my house. If I got convinced my mom to buy the multi-pack,
Yeah.
I was like, I used to eat that because we didn't have sugar and because we didn't have potato chips, I ate dry pasta. So protein pasta was also my go-to for a little bit, but I eat it dry.
Man, my kids are getting to this ravenous age of like they get home from school and they'll look for anything to eat. And my oldest daughter, like, she can kill a whole like party-sized bag of Ruffles.
Mm.
And it's like, I don't know, I kind of feel bad about it, but then I'm like, I don't know, kids gotta eat. Like their metabolisms are so crazy
Yeah.
right now. Like she's not overweight in any way. So I'm just like,
Especially
I
when you
guess
once you
so.
start like 'cause I remember growing up and I was always, well, I was tall. Well, I've been this height since third grade. So at one point I was tall.
Oh,
But
tell me about those days. Tell me about the days where you were tall.
I made fun of all the short people. And I used to sing them songs about,
Oh no. And
oh,
now this is your punishment,
my punishment. But
being a shorty.
I know. And my sister was always taller and really thin, and I'm built a little stockier, I guess. I'm a little, I don't know. But my mom would say things like, "Do you really need that cookie?" And I have such
Hmm.
shame, and I feel like I've heard that from a lot of people. And I think it's like, not that you want your kids to like eat nothing but like junk food, but once you start shaming them for food, then they start hiding food, and or they can start hiding food, and food becomes like more of an issue instead of like their kids just eat. It's in the house. Food.
Yeah, with us, one of my kids really loves sweets, and she's like a real negotiator. She's like, if I have an ice cream sandwich now, can I also have candy later? And it's like she's got like dessert on dessert plans, and it's like, no, just do one. And then sometimes she'll eat because she's bored, and we don't like that. We're like, dude, like you shouldn't eat when you're bored. Like let's find something entertaining to do. And it it does walk a fine line when you're talking about someone else's eating habits, but kids are stupid and they kind of need guidance. And I don't think like, are you sure you want that cookie is like the right, is that what your mom would say? Are you
Like,
sure you
you
want that
really
cookie?
need that cookie?
Do
Are
you
you-
really need that cookie? And would you say yes?
I would just look at her and I'd get really upset. And then I would hide food. I had food hidden. Well, my aunt used to hide food in the bottom drawer of my desk when she lived with us. She hid candy and snacks in my bottom drawer. And then
I
I would,
think if you ask a passive aggressive question like, do you really need that cookie? You have to be prepared for them to say yes. And then you go, okay. Like
and I
you
don't
have
think
to
I
be
took it.
like cool with that.
I always think I took it as like, she thinks I'm gross. Um, and that's how I remember the conversation going. But of course, this is 1,000 years later, and I could be completely wrong.
Yeah. No,
But
I get down with that too because it's like this is not how she's going to remember it. She's just going to remember us always saying no to sweets.
yeah,
Like,
then that could be. But my mom also had her own body image issues.
yeah.
So we're all fucked up.
No, I'm like, we are a family of hotties and we are we are going to be fit and good looking. And then I put up like poster girls from like the 90s.
You know what's coming back, by the way, apparently?
No, I don't. I mean,
What's up?
racism sure is.
Yeah, racism. Yeah, yeah.
I think white supremacists,
Yeah,
that's coming
yep,
back.
it is. It sure is. Misogyny is like growing
Oh
bigger.
my God, misogyny is off the charts. I feel like there's this new wave of like fresh, shitty misogyny.
Yep, yep,
It stinks.
yep, yep. And the young boys apparently are really into the misogynist world and the manosphere. Um,
Yeah, like with all of these really positive role models in politics.
yeah. And then they
It's
censored Crockett, which she shouldn't have said. What she said was not the smartest thing to say. She said something about Governor Abbott being in a wheelchair, like she called him like Hot Wheels, which is kind of,
yeah, I mean, I read that and it's like of all the things that like MAGA idiots say,
that's what I
like
was gonna say,
look,
but the president could say grab her by the pussy and that's okay, or call him a pig and make fun of disabled people. But like
yeah,
it- but so yeah, but
that all's coming back. What else is coming back?
that extra skinny look.
Oh yeah, extra skinny, like bones showing.
Like what they used to call heroin chic. Apparently it's making a comeback, is what I was told recently. So
Hmm.
what happens with all the BBLs?
I know, right? What happened to all that? I mean, it had a good run, honestly.
I mean, they're still big in somewhere, but like I guess like with all the weight loss drugs and whatnot, but I could say anything negative about this, but yeah, the like super skinny where it's like more androgynous looking probably too, because it's like skinny, flat chested. I don't know if this is true. This is just what someone told me
I mean,
yesterday.
I think that's a hot look, honestly.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm sorry to admit. I'm like, as long as it accompanies some like um very like aggressive punk music, maybe I'll be okay with it.
Mm. Yeah, I'm never gonna have that look because unless I chop my boobs off, which I'm not doing.
I mean, it'll come back around. I
Right.
think that trends have timelines and
They do. That's why I try not to fall too much into a trend, like,
yeah.
because I try to be me. I think I'm pretty basic too. I don't know if basic's the right word. I was trying to
Maybe
think,
the reason that the skinny like starved look is coming back is because Kim Pot is out at HEB. And it's like,
maybe,
well, we just all need to like wither
maybe,
away.
maybe. I also bought, there was a sale on dark chocolate, and I buy this brand Lily's that has like sugar, no sugar added chocolate. And they have like a salted caramel and then a creamy caramel. And
Mhm.
usually I love those. And I ate a piece yesterday and I'm like, this is fucking disgusting.
Your chocolate that you love?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You know, it sucks when you have this food thing when like, and I should have bought, there's two things I should have bought when I was at the
I
grocery
mean,
store.
it sounds a lot like burnout, which I mean, that's a thing with everybody, not just you, where it's like you do the same thing for so long that your body's just like sick of it. And maybe your burnout turnover time is a little shorter than
Mine is very short. And I also have burnout in life at the moment. But I should have bought peanut butter as like just a fill-in. But they moved the peanut butter and it wasn't exactly where it was where I remembered it. And I was like, fuck this, I'm not going back around the store one more time.
yeah.
And in my brain, I was gonna buy Chomps. You know what
Mm-hmm.
Chomps are?
Mm-mm.
They're a brand of like beef jerky-ish kind of thing, like meat sticks, but they're a little
Oh
more.
wow.
And I usually
Spe
love this. I was like, but I
Speaking of
forgot.
misogyny, meat sticks.
Or I listen meat sticks. Did you know that back in, is this true? I'm going to start spewing information that I have no idea is true that I just heard
Yeah,
in
let's make
passing.
this a conspiracy theory podcast.
Is it true that back in like Roman Greek, like those times that smaller penises were looked at as more virile and like that was more manly?
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and say yes.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I know definitely like body image issues were different back then and like I know that if a lady was like kind of like chubbier, it
Mhm.
meant that she had food and it meant that she was like rich and like that was hot.
Mm. Well, apparently small dicks were in, so
Hmm.
my little fellas, your time might come back around. Um,
I doubt it, right?
yeah, but also it was I wonder if that had any correlation. Well, I don't know. Like, I wonder why. And there was much more like homoeroticism.
Yeah, probably. Um, I'm thinking like in Greek culture, there's a lot of
Mhm.
like brotherly love, maybe.
Yeah,
And I don't know, we went to Morocco not too long ago. I talk about it on this podcast every single time.
not every time.
Yeah, we went to Morocco. Anyway, it was like notorious. It was around the Arab springtime, Arab springtime, not just springtime,
Yep.
where Egypt was kind of liberating itself, and there were a lot of things happening in the region, and um, we went with a gay couple. That was a friend of ours, and I was like looking at the laws, and I was like, oh, homosexuality is like a crime
Hmm.
in most of the Arab world,
Hmm.
including Morocco. And it's like, I wonder how big of a deal it will be. And it wasn't that big of a deal. But also, while we were there, like, it's very common for like like boys to like hold hands and like walk around, like interlace their fingers and
Yep.
be pretty like PDA here. Like, we wouldn't let that fly in most cities. We're like, oh God, get a room. but there's like a lot of openly homoerotic affection. Although probably not in their culture is it homoerotic. It's probably just like we're buds, you
Yeah, I
know?
think about that with like,
Yeah, we suck each other's cocks. We're buds.
why not? And good friend. Um, I think about that when I see like when I think about Israeli men too, or even like men who in like Israeli army, like 'cause everyone's in the army, there's much more like hugging and hand holding and hugging together and like they're also very yeah.
Yeah, America's just maybe not as I don't know, in a lot of ways we're more accepting to like queer lifestyles, but then we're just kind of like either be like let's be clear if we're queer or we're straight.
Yes, yes. And that goes back to like all this like we're way big in this country because like trying to like getting so worried about people who are trans or like who perform drag like we're way too worried or give too much shits about like policing people's beds and sexuality things when there's so many bigger things involved. Who the fuck cares who I'm blowing?
Yeah, I know. It's definitely a job that somebody's got to do. I'm
Right.
like if nobody's giving blowjobs, they're I often think about these like repressed sexually advocates for morality, and it's like
Mhm.
you need to fuck for sure. Like
Well,
just like start fucking and see where it goes and stop like judging people because you've probably not tried a lot of this stuff that would make you a less uptight person.
true. And then a lot of these like Christian, like I'm just gonna call them Christian. I don't think they're actually like the definition of what a true Christian would be, but these like Christian right wing, like anti everything. They also tend to be ones who have been like pedophiles or are secretly on like Grinder or another site, but they tell everyone else like that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah,
And
I
then
know. And like it's it's young Goodman Brown, like the Nathaniel Hawthorne essay where it's like doing this stuff in the forest is okay, but like when you're out of the forest, you have to maintain this like image. And I understand that that is kind of hot. But let's just talk about how hot it is. Let's just talk about how like I mean, when I was in church, I was younger in my teens and I was having sex with the music minister's daughter, and it was like, whoa,
mm,
like this is crazy. And it was like amazing and cool. And
I
um, you weren't allowed to talk about it, and that made it hotter. And I get that. And I get that if that's
I
your kink and that's your thing, but there's other ways to like achieve those feelings, I
yeah,
think, right?
and I
There
do
has to
like
be.
a secret, like something's going on, like that's fucking hot. And I've always wanted to have sex in like a pew. There used to be a
I don't like to go that far. Like I mean, I did have a I did have a girlfriend who was an actual Catholic schoolgirl, like went to Catholic school and had the uniform.
that's hot.
And I think she thought it was hotter than I did. Which I
There
mean, not to say I didn't find it
I'm trying to look
exciting.
at the name of this place. There's a club in New York, an old club in New York, that was in a former church, and they still had pews. And
I
it was
mean,
like,
Sex in a Pew, I just feel like the sex in a church seems kind of like that's just a kink that I'm not that into, I guess.
the limelight. Okay. Sorry. I am not Christian, so like sex in a church, cool. Like I like that's not my place of worship, so I wouldn't see it as like anything, whatever. But but
You're
that
not
was it.
really built for sex, is what I'm thinking. Like, there's more comfortable places to have sex.
Okay, how about you're sitting in a pew and someone gives you a blowjob?
Um, like, and you're the only two people in there?
Mm.
Or is it like during a church
Okay,
service
church
thing?
can't be full because there can't be anyone else in your pew row.
Yeah, but that's not usually the case, right?
Yeah, so maybe I don't know. I don't
They
know.
do have those like at Catholic churches. I didn't go Catholic. I was Catholic at the beginning of my journey. Um, and they have those little kneelers
Right,
where
but I was thinking that too,
you
but the
can use
kneelers are
those
the
to give a
wrong way.
blowjob.
And I was thinking that
The kneelers go the wrong way. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
I know
I'm sure that's like been talked about, right?
when when I was younger, I used to go to church with my to church with my I guess they were Catholics. They had kneelers
Hmm.
with my friend's family on Sundays. I used to sleep over there a lot, and I would go to church with them, and I would get so upset because they would tell me like I'd want to kneel with them. I'm like, this is kneeling. I guess I just wanted to be on my knees a lot. As a youngin, I already wanted to be on my knees. But they wouldn't let me kneel with them because they were like, this isn't your religion, and also like like might upset your parents if we think you're bringing your Catholic church and telling you to kneel. They also did not allow me to get the the cracker. I wanted to go up and get the
I mean,
cracker.
that's kind of cool of them. Honestly, like it's
No, I think that was very cool of them.
like
Now,
they really believed in it, apparently.
yeah. What I didn't like at the end of that church service we used to go to is you would have to be like, they would tell you to turn to your neighbor and be like, peace be with you and also with you or something. And you're supposed to
Hmm.
like, turn around and shake people's hands. And I'd get so nervous. I'm like, are they expecting me to do this part? Like, this part's okay? To touch other people's hands? I just want to kneel on the fucking kneeler.
You're gonna kneel and eat a cracker,
Mm-hmm.
eat
When I
some
kneel
body
down.
of Christ.
I know. It's like, I want to kneel down before that priest and get my cracker.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess I have to, yeah.
I kind of think my grandparents were Catholic because they were Latin American, and I know that that's stereotypical, but it's pretty ubiquitous as far
Yeah.
as I can tell. And I've been to like a few funerals. I've been to definitely a lot of sacraments or whatever they're called with the cracker. And then they have this chalice that everybody drinks out of. And then
Yeah.
they rub the side of it. And then the next person drinks out of it. And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to go over like post COVID. I wonder if they're still doing it.
I
And
feel
it's
like
usually like a brass chalice, which I think brass is very hypoallergenic, but
maybe, but I think that did they start doing little plastic cups too, where like they bring out the plastic cups and because I feel like this place had plastic cups, but maybe I made that up because we used
no,
to.
I've seen plastic cups in different denominations,
Okay.
but and for on different occasions they do plastic cups, but like the real important times when you would take it, you'd drink out
Okay.
of a chalice, which is kind
Well,
of dope, honestly. It's
I
kind
like
of
a
dope.
chalice. My
Yeah.
dad had this gorgeous, we never found it. My dad had this gorgeous kiddish cup, and that's not an English word. Um, you say the blessing over the wine with a kiddish cup. You say kiddish for it. I'm saying a lot of words that aren't English that I forget aren't English. But you say the blessing over the wine, and then on like let's say on Shabbat, right? And then, but a lot of them were like kind of like a chalice, and he had this beautiful one. And I've been looking, I went last time before I was helping him get ready to move out of his apartment. And we found all this other silver stuff. Like we found silver goblets from, um, like Eastern Europe from like the 1900s, 1800, like something, I don't know if it was 1800s,
That
but
is
like,
cool.
yeah, but we can't find his kiddish cup, which is
Wow.
disappeared.
You got to get on that.
We've been looking everywhere. And then my dad got upset about it. So I was like, I kind of put it to bed. But um, God, he panicked me this morning calling back to back.
Well, that's that's his privilege.
I guess usually when he calls me back to when it was like, well, my
That's
mom,
his white man privilege.
he's not actually like white because
I'm
he's
just, I knew that one.
a Christian. So he's a little, um, but like when my mom was sick, he would call twice or three times in a row, right? Or if like when he was in the hospital a lot, he like called and called and called if I didn't answer.
Yeah. No,
And I,
I always am. I always am thrown off by a back-to-back call
Yeah.
because I've had you know, we've had friends die or like we've
Mhm.
had real things happen that back-to-back calls. It's like don't miss those. Like
Yeah. Suddenly it's
don't
like
miss
it's
you
that
don't want to miss those.
panic and like, and you get that feeling in your chest right away. Um,
We were talking about the depravity of like priests and nuns and stuff, and it's like celibacy and how it creates this portal into a kink,
right.
like naughtiness, like a naughty little sex time. And I'm wondering if there are any easy ways to recreate that feeling authentically without being good at role play. Like I wonder how to capture that. And I think voyeurism might be adjacent, you know?
Okay, you just made me think of something else. Here it was. It wasn't sex in a pew. It was sex in a confessional where someone could possibly be like, look in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, have the priest just watch you fucking in the other side.
And like I said, there was that bar, like the Limelight had, I think they still had confessionals too. I can't remember. A long time ago. But they definitely had pews. Voyeurism. Yeah, I don't, those are,
Now I'm wondering like if it's because the priest is not allowed to masturbate while he watches you have sex through the
oh,
confessional window.
that's just mean.
Like, yeah, he's got to sit there and not masturbate. And I was thinking maybe like those British soldiers that are guarding Buckingham
Yeah.
Palace, like having sex in front of them and they're not allowed to do anything about it. Like that's probably a similar similar
So
like
do you think
feeling.
like, okay, so if I was going to be a priest, right? I mean, obviously I can't be a priest. I'm the wrong religion. I'm the wrong sex. I'm too old and I'm not going to be celibate. But all those things aside, do you think priests growing up like had relationships and or masturbated and then suddenly they were like, I can do without?
Maybe they just had some bad sex or like
Mm.
um boy, I don't want to throw any of that tiny dick energy on there, but
And same thing with
I
like,
mean the reason we're talking about this is because I perceive this to be the origin for these like asshole politicians and toxic misogynists
yeah,
and like
well, like
the
incel groups.
yeah, I feel like it
I remember what
has
it stands for
roots
again.
in
Incel stands for
I don't
in,
think it's
involuntarily celibate.
right. Right. They just can't get laid. Not
Yeah,
that they don't want to.
which like is also like you're gonna go around being like I'm involuntarily celibate. Like change your name to Viso. Um,
I, yeah, and I think a deeper exploration of the motives behind what make people a certain way and being open to queer identities and
mm,
non-conforming gender identity and
mhm.
like the idea of being asexual, if we were open to that, then that could just be something that people are. They don't really
Right,
need to feel
right.
the feel the sting of like, oh, like in high school, oh, you're a virgin, like
Oh yeah, that.
that type of
And
energy.
they made. And here's the thing: is like being a female. You had like you did kind of get some people got on a pedestal because they're like, oh, she's a virgin, and like they were like trying to like get the virgin. But either like you got made. Probably more males got made fun of for not being virgin, but you would also get kind of like, you're still a virgin. That wasn't, but you'd get kind of picked on. But then if you weren't a virgin, you were like as a female, like you were a whore.
Right. Oh, you're not a virgin.
You
Like
whore.
you whore. I mean, girls got it the worst, I think, in adolescence, like
I just think like the whole
by
thing, like we're
far.
so worried. Like I don't cultures that are more open sexually, I don't feel like they have this whole like worry and like. So what if you're asexual or you're bisexual or if you're like and like
I think
oh,
really the bottom line is people need to get laid. I don't know, maybe not. That's not the bottom line. I think
But
um
people just need to get their dicks sucked. Um, because, and here's the thing too, when they're like, "Oh my God, how could you ever like?" When people are like, "I don't know how you could ever be with a man," and blah blah. Shit, if you had your eye, like if you were blindfolded, getting your dick sucked, would you really know if it was a female or a male?
I imagine only if there was a beard involved.
Right. Just
I don't
imagine.
know. It's not like, yeah, I feel like a mouth's a mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I I couldn't imagine it being much different.
No, I'm just, yeah. Oh, they say that. I'm like, oh, but I don't know. Yeah. But also, I feel like sometimes too, in other, like, in cultures that are more open to when they like, just where sex is all about, where pleasure is more discussed and like valued. These things just aren't like shame. Like, there's not as much shame too. And you can be you can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah, I think it upsets people though. Like people who are not comfortable with it.
And those people are the ones that really need to go back to school and get some help and get a sex education. And you're right, and get fucked. Buy them some toys.
Yeah, it's also, I don't know. I feel like with the way that sexual identity and sexual liberty is going in our country, not that it's
Mhm.
going in any specific direction. I'm not confident that this administration has the power to change it all that much. Like they can deny things and they can hide, like they can, pretend stuff isn't happening, but
Mhm.
it's like that's all bullshit. Like they lie all the time.
Yeah,
So it's not like we're going to take any of that seriously.
right.
And so I kind of feel like like talking about it in a I, th talking about it is important, especially for people who are figuring things out.
Yeah.
I do think it's so interesting that it kind of sucks all of the oxygen out of the room, especially when there are more important conversations like
Yeah.
deportation of like unlawful deportation of non-citizens.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot like going on that we should be talking about,
Yeah. No,
and
absolutely.
I
And then
kind
you
of
have senators also or cabinet members. I don't know who it was, but who are like they're been on Grinder, which like fine if you're on Grinder, but then don't say like you're in. But yes, we have
yeah, I
to.
know like the dudes that are on Grindr are like super anti-gay and it's like what the fuck, bro? Like just like get yourself together.
Yeah, they just what's his name? Mike Johnson, well, whoever he is in this regime was just found on Grinder, but that was after he was like anyway.
He's the Speaker of the House and he is famous for having
Okay.
a like fidelity app with his son, like where they're both like, we don't masturbate, don't do we? Like, is that the guy?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I'm gonna also like
I mean, if not, let's just start that rumor
okay,
now.
let's do it. Also, like it's also like part of development to like explore your body. It's also important. Mike Johnson. I can't. My eyes are
You
so.
know, I feel like I try to steer us away from politics most of the time, but it's like it's everywhere. Like we have to talk about
It is
politics.
everywhere. Okay,
Like
hold
it
on. Mike Johnson.
we listen to this morning show and it's like a hip hop and R&B channel and they've managed to steer clear of politics for a while, but now just every morning they're like, "Hey, look what happened."
What do you listen to? That's the hip hop morning show.
It's called The Beat of Athens and it's pretty like clever and local, but it's
Interesting.
Chub Rock, I think is his name. He's like a DJ from Atlanta. The Chub Rock Show.
Interesting. Okay. Mike Johnson is the current Speaker of the House, has been known to use and recommend the Covenant Eyes app as an anti-pornography accountability app and has spoken about its importance in his life. Um, Yeah. Covenant.
Yeah, so like
There's also a
he and
Fidelity
he and
app,
his
which is
son are like on this covenant thing where it's like they can monitor each other's porn usage, and it's like, good job not looking at porn this week. It's like Duolingo for celibacy, or what is it called when you don't masturbate? Is that called edging? Edging is when you almost masturbate,
no, edging is
or
when you almost
masturbating is when you orgasm, or can you you can masturbate without
you can
orgasming.
masturbate without orgasmic, or
So anytime you touch your privates
is yeah,
between your legs,
yes.
that
And so
is
edging is when you're almost when you almost come in and you like step back over, or you don't make someone come in and you like, so you like play with
what is it called when you don't masturbate at all? Does that have a name?
that's just complete celibacy. Is that still celibacy? Hold on. No, you're so
Foolish is what I call it.
it is foolish. Also, it's good for, yeah. There's so many health benefits, you fools. Um, what is no masturbating? I feel like it's called, is it like I'm completely celibate. No masturbating. That doesn't really make sense the way I asked it.
No, it's like we're setting ourselves up for a punchline. There's going to be a punchline at the end of this Google spree. We need to
There's,
get a third person or a third thing on the Zoom call. It'll just be Chat GPT, like auto auto correcting us.
what's the word for people who don't masturbate? Fools. Um, and okay, and someone,
Is
hold on. There's
is it
something
hard
called
to
like,
pronounce?
yeah, is this what it's called?
Maybe
Or a
nobody
person who
doesn't
doesn't
masturbate.
masturbate.
No, nobody doesn't masturbate. I
Not
think that's what we're getting. Like, what we're getting to is like there are people who say they don't masturbate.
right. Somebody's answer on this app was they're looking for synonyms, and someone responds with non-existent.
Yeah, a liar.
Who doesn't like someone who doesn't like to, or who doesn't. And anonymous. I don't know how to say that.
And
They
anonymous.
they're like, that's not right. And
Yeah, that
Bible.
sounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm spending way too much time. But I guess they would be completely celibate because there would be no possible ejaculation happening ever.
I
Also,
certainly, I mean, yeah, I
oh,
think like a healthier relationship towards this could solve a lot of problems in the world.
I believe so too. Also, if you're not masturbating, right? But if you have a pee-gasm, would that be considered a form of masturbation?
See, probably not. And that's like, it's like that is rife for priests molesting young boys.
Because
Like that.
pee-gasms are pretty. I mean, if you hold your pee long enough, I don't know if and then you pee, like you can have a good little time. Don't do it. It's really bad for you to hold your pee.
Yeah, I think you can have all sorts of bladder
You
and
can, but I don't pee in public bathrooms often. So, but you can also have orgasms like when you're working out. Would that be anyway? Yeah, I think you're right. I think if people were just like enjoying their own pleasure, there'd be more relaxation. There'd be, it would
it's
help.
like I could just hear a priest saying, you know, you're not supposed to masturbate, but there are other ways to experience pleasure. For example, if I stick my finger up your butt, it doesn't quite count as masturbating, and you still can get pleasure from it.
Also, if you're
And like
sitting,
that's like fucked up.
yeah, that
Like
is. That's kind of
because
like
you've invented this rule that lets you like molest children. I
that's
don't know,
also where
man.
the like Mormon, like the like choking and those kind of things. Like you can't have sex, so they come. Also, if you're sitting in a chair and kind of moving around, so you can like feel like some like movement, would that be considered masturbating if you get off on it? Um, but you're right.
Dude, yeah, grinding on something?
Yeah,
Fuck. Everyone's doing that.
yeah. But you're right. There's it becomes all these workarounds to like how can we still like. So yes, we just have to have
We
y'all.
want you all to properly masturbate
Go masturbate.
Do a real proper masturbation.
Yeah. Maybe even play with some edging while you're masturbating. That's kind of fun too. Um, talking about pleasure, do you have any pleasurable things coming up you want to tell us about?
Nope,
Okay.
nothing.
Me either. Well, except don't forget to check us out on YouTube at Athens Public. Um, Send us any questions, thoughts, feedback, anything you want. And y'all, go pleasure yourselves. Go enjoy your body. Builds confidence. Good for your health.
Oh, yeah.
Good for the country. That's my plan. Good for the country. All right. Until next time, y'all, please. All right. So now we gotta export. Export an MP3. Episode 214, Valentine's Day, y'all. It's not Valentine's Day, sorry for the confusion, but it's episode number 214, which is Valentine's Day. Okay, what shall we call this?
Ah, boy, we talked a lot about religion.
Yeah. I ended it with it's good for the country.
Good for the country. I can't hear you when the music is playing for some reason.
Oh,
Like
oh,
it's just all garbled.
okay. When I was telling them to go masturbate and go like do these things and go pleasure yourself
No,
and
I bet it was cool, and I totally support it. I
and then
just
I
couldn't
just said
hear
and
it.
it's good for the country.
Hmm. Yeah, it's good for the country. We talked a little bit about politics, religion, masturbating. Um,
Now we just need a name. We
I
need
don't think
a
we said anything like particularly funny. I think the funniest thing was like, what do you call someone who doesn't masturbate? And then we said foolish
yeah.
or a liar. Um,
Hmm.
Talked about chalices,
Yeah. We talked about kneeling.
kneeling. Yeah,
I
a
just
blowjob on the kneeler, or like something
yeah,
like
try
that.
not to use so many like sex words in the title because I feel like it gets
Yeah, it's fucking up your algorithm. So I think kneeler is probably ambiguous enough.
kneeler. Okay.
Yeah.
Kneeler. They
Um, I still want to record like a promo for this podcast, but I didn't have time to write anything down. Do you think we could just like, nah, I don't know.
let me know what you want to do. I can do it. I am behind on my homework for my internship.
I think I'm gonna write something down and we'll just read a script because I feel like if we try to wing it, it will turn into a whole podcast. Like that's basically how we make
That's true.
podcasts.
That's
We
true.
need something written if we're going to keep it to like 30 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know
Um,
when you do that. We could do it if you want to do it like after we do this. So this week I had someone, and y'all who are on YouTube, watching on YouTube, you get to see some behind the scenes, us chatting business stuff. I had a client schedule at 11 a.m. this week. I don't know if they're going to be back next week,
oh,
but time also works. So
yeah, I think I'll write you an email to my so-called mess at gmail.com. Is that the right one? Or do you want me to
go
send
ahead.
it to Rachel? I have all your email addresses. I'll send it somewhere. And
Send it to
I'll
Fig Life.
and then you can maybe just go open Audacity and record yourself reading it. Change anything you want. And then send me that MP3 file and I'll splice it together with me also reading it. Or there will be like a part for me, a part for you. Like I'll send you a
Okay.
script
Okay.
because I feel like it'd interrupt our flow of recording if we had to record it on a record day. So maybe just at your convenience.
Okay. And did you want it where you can see me too, or just video, or just audio?
Let's start with just audio, and then if it works, if it's something. I mean, if we did video, I could buy ads on like Instagram. That's probably not a bad idea. Let's do a video.
Okay. We can do it like after we record.
Okay, that'll be my goal then. By next week, I'll have a script and we'll do it after recording.
Okay, I'll make sure I'm dressed appropriately.
Not me. I'm gonna wear whatever I'm wearing.
No, I'm not gonna be. I'm just gonna be rolling out of bed probably but no, I'll be there. I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay.
All right, cool.
Um,
I'll talk to you next week. Have a good
all right.
week.